Yeah, you would like.
Welcome back to Florida City Live. It is your last chance to check out Young Frankenstein at the Village Square Theater in Lexington. It's the stage adaptation of the comedic horror classic, and joining me today is Davis Herndon, who plays Frederick Frankenstein, or Frankenstein, and Merritt Van, who plays the monster. So glad to have you both joining me today.
Our pleasure.
Glad to be here.
For those who are not familiar with this play, this is an adaptation of that movie in 1974 with Gene Wilder. So were either of you familiar with the movie before you stepped into character?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was actually really fortunate for me to have this opportunity to do this show because I've been a Mel Brooks fan since I was a kid. You know, growing up with a lot of his movies, you know, Robin Hood Men in Tights, this movie specifically. Yes. I mean, there's just so many, the producers, there's so many things that he's done that I've watched and appreciated that having that little bit of knowledge beforehand definitely helped really get the ball moving when it came time to actually starting the project.
And what a lot of people don't realize is Frankenstein is not the monster. Frankenstein. I have to remember that
That's
for
right.
the sake of this
Yes,
movie.
Frankenstein, correct.
Frankenstein, for the sake of that was actually one of my favorite parts where he corrects if you watch it in the movie. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to hear much from our monster today. He is in character.
I've been working on him just a little bit. We've been training him, you know,
Okay.
the brain is a very important part of the process, so he might have a couple of words for us, I don't know.
Well, how has it been getting in character for the monster?
Well, a little bit different. This is basically my first musical, so.
Really?
Learning to dance in 5-inch heels was probably one of the main things I had to learn from the very beginning. So it took me about a week to get comfortable in these. But to get into monsters, so more of I'm used to doing like dialogue, plays and what have you in film and television. So I ended up having to do more physical acting. And so he does just a lot of growls and grunts and things. So I had to bring a lot of physicality to the character. So just piggybacking on what Davis said about going back to the film itself, I had seen it many years back, so I went and familiarized myself with it, and so it was a big help to kind of watch how the monster played his role. So just kind of took some of his things and built some of my own character background into it, and so yeah, we've had a lot of fun with it.
Now I have to ask, do you do your own makeup?
I do. I just did it in the car not too long ago.
Are you going to be doing classes anytime soon? Because I love the green.
Yeah.
It really brings out your shoes.
Yeah. I mean, I get into the doctor's office pretty fast with this on.
Yeah. That's going to be the new summer trend, I think. The green makeup with the scars.
Green
everybody's going to be doing that.
It
there
is.
You go.
I guess
there
so.
you go.
And I also have to ask, so these shoes.
Right.
Were they, like, are they yours now?
I don't know. I don't know if it's in my contract or not. You know, community theater guys.
These are questions you have to ask.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, how was it breaking those in?
Well, like I said, it took me about a week, and so this is really one of the first shows I've had to do like choreographed dancing in. So that was a challenge, but with a lot of help and everything, it's been a challenge. But I think 5 shows in now, I pretty much got it going on. So it's working out.
I have to come to see dance in those shoes.
It's worth it. It's worth the admission, I think.
Absolutely. Well, there's another thing that I'm very interested to know. Preparation. You know, you said again, this is something new for you. You're out of your element. What did you have to do to prepare for your role?
I mean, really, it was a lot for me because, I mean, with it being a musical, obviously there's a lot of music to learn. So most of my preparation, especially coming in already being familiar with the movie and the storyline, a lot of it was just digging into the music itself, which a lot of people don't realize this, but the music actually was written by Mel Brooks as well. A lot of people don't realize he writes music. He was a musician as well as a writer.
Did not know
so it was really interesting getting to see how it all kind of fits into the story and how he sort of like interweaves these songs with the story itself. And the best way for me to do that, I just, I had it on the car on repeat, always playing the same songs, not just my songs, but the whole thing, because it really helps give you a bigger idea of sort of the grander picture, the grander scheme of the show. So it was a lot of getting into the music, getting familiar with how it fits to the story, because that's obviously the biggest difference from the movie is that, you have these songs that didn't exist in the movie.
Right.
But yeah, it was mostly just, really taking something that was a little bit familiar, but realizing it's a slightly different arena and just having to sort of bear down and get used to it.
So you're 5 shows in. This is the last weekend. Is it like a bittersweet feeling for you?
I might let you answer that one first, because I have a couple of thoughts.
Okay. It is, because, you become a family. Your theater kind of group becomes a family. You make new friendships. This is actually the first time I've worked with Davis, and it's been great for me. This guy's amazing, and I just watch him working. Just being a part of a musical and the different people, because we have certain groups of people in theater that come out and they kind of stay in the musical lane, and then they come in what we call straight plays. So doing the crossover for me has been really, really cool. And so I've got to meet a lot of new people and some really talented people that, I don't plan on doing a lot of musicals, but I've really enjoyed this one and meeting the new people. So I think bittersweet's a good way of putting it. I've enjoyed it, and we got 3 more shows to go, and so that's the exciting part. It's not over yet. And I think I'll just cross the bitterness when it's all over and see where we feel about it, how I feel about it towards the end.
Absolutely. Well, we want you to be a part of the production this weekend, and we have the details right there on your screen. Friday and Saturday shows at 7:30 p.m. and then Sunday at 3 p.m. Tickets are $22 because, of course, this is a musical. We'll have all these details and more on our website, SodaCityLive.com. Gentlemen, so glad to have you in costume and in character, and I'm so excited to see what you all do this weekend. So it's going to be a very, very great weekend for the two of you.
All right,
You're more than welcome. Is there anything else that you guys would like to add about this weekend show?
Just a quick note. I know the director would be upset with us if we didn't at least mention that this is a PG-13 show.
Oh, yeah.
For people that aren't familiar with Mel Brooks, if you are familiar with Mel Brooks, that seems like a given.
Yeah.
But we have had some misunderstandings with some audience members in terms of the content of the show. I think it's hilarious. It reaches a really wide audience. It's a very funny show, but just be aware, if you've got some younger ones, maybe leave them at home for the show. Just go on like a date night or something, go out with some friends, and that's really the way to enjoy it best.
So that's very, very important information we save for last. So again, this is not for anyone over under the age of 13.
Correct,
I would assume, but of course, a great night for some older adult fun.
That's right.
And adult humor. Any surprises? I wanted to ask that too. Any surprises? Anybody other than the musical?
Without giving away too much, I know we talked about the shoes.
Yeah.
So I'll touch base on that again, but watching what this guy is able to do with his body while wearing those shoes, I think you'll be surprised, because we've been talking about it, but until you see it, you don't really appreciate just how hard he has to work in those. So I definitely think, like I said, like he said, it's definitely worth the price of admission to see him get around in those things, all up and down the stage, and maybe even a little dancing too. You'll have to come find out for yourself, though.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Dr. Frankenstein and Monster. We'll have much more Soda City Live coming up after the break. Be sure to stick with us.